Hello, lovely people. How are you? Kerry Waring here. And for those of you that are new to my page, haven't got to know me quite yet, I'm a psychic medium and I'm passionate about supporting mediums to strengthen their connection to spirit, enhance their readings, and be the confident and successful mediums that we all want to be. And today I'm here with Psychic Catch Up, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the thought or idea of actually passing a complete stranger a message, and where that comes from, perhaps why that happens, and what you should do about it, basically. But first, I want to share a story with you. So this does happen for me rarely. I probably can sort of count on one hand the number of times that it has happened over the last 20 years. And but a couple of those times have actually been more recently in the last 12 months. And one of them was just a few weeks ago when I was going to Cairns, or coming home from Cairns, actually. So I don't know what it is about airports, but it seems to me that it happens for me more in airports and on aeroplanes than it does anywhere else. So anyway, just share with you a little story. And this was just sitting in the coffee lounge, biding time to our flight. And as I was, I got out my journal, and as I started to write in there, I very quickly became aware of receiving an insight for young lady sitting not too far away from us. And so usually when I do receive an insight from spirit or a communication from spirit that they want to have me share a message with someone that is a stranger and that I need to approach, there is always a little bit of toing froing with me in spirit to just double check myself and make sure where it's coming from, make sure that I'm not jumping in too quickly, just to make sure that it's really, really important from spirit to get this message across. And so in this time, I took a few minutes to do that, but knew straight very quickly that she just needed this information. So anyway, my approach generally is always to sort of approach the person and say something like, "Excuse me, I'm a psychic medium and I have a message for you if you would like it." This is my way of giving them permission, giving them the opportunity to say no. Not that I would expect that to happen, because I would certainly be thinking, one, if spirit are giving me the message, they would be okay to receive it, because otherwise I just wouldn't connect with the message in the first place. But two, I do like to respect their privacy and still give that person the opportunity to say no. Not that it has ever happened. I've never had anyone say no, but I would still be approaching it from that perspective. I think it's just a measure of integrity and professionalism. So anyway, in this instance, this young lady, I just sort of said to her, "I don't know why you need to know this, but you do need to know that you have what we call clairaudient ability, and the fact that you can hear spirit and that they are around you and they are communicating to you and you can hear them." She did say, "Oh my God, so you're actually telling me I'm not going crazy?" So we had a couple of minutes just very quickly of just talking about that. Giving her a card so that she could email me and I could point her in the right direction of where she could go and then expand her knowledge, so that she could start reading and doing all of those things. And it is good to know that she did follow up with that. So yes, it takes a level of confidence to do this, to approach someone. But it's also one of the things that I would say I don't recommend doing it either. And especially if you communicating with spirit and your mediumship is in the early years. The reason being, there's lots of, let me just talk to you a little bit about why I say that. And that's because, firstly, a lot of people, when they step into discovering their mediumship and connecting with their spirituality and have a awakening of some sort, there's a real urge within the egoic self to want to prove yourself, to want to prove that you can do it, to want to be seen as being special. There's all these sorts of reasons that come with it. So I've always shied away from encouraging my students, those I mentor, to really just sort of sit back and not to approach students in that way. Hi, Christy, how are you? So to just, because one, you know, you're still developing that linking connection to spirit, understanding your relationship. Takes years to break down your ego and bring it into balance and understanding, so you know how it operates. It takes years to do all of that stuff and to be confident. And just the thing to remember is that you're not just representing yourself, you're absolutely representing the movement and what the mainstream will think about mediums and mediumship. So it's bigger than just what you think for yourself. So so I know that's why I always have that massive big conversation with spirit to check myself, to just make sure where I'm coming from. And there have been times when, you know, I've tested spirit out, or I've just had the conversation and spirit have said to me things like, you know, you just don't know. Oh, thank you, Diana. You just don't know where people are at in their lives and what having a message could do for them when it's needed. So I do open myself up to be in service of that way. And certainly spirit does take the opportunity. You know, I've had times where I've, you know, been at home and knowing I've had to go to church and speak in church and not realizing the impact until after of what I'm saying, and how that can often not just change people's lives. I know some of what I do has actually saved people's lives. So it is important work. It's really important work. And Christy, you wish you could talk to spirit. Please, I'm the prime example of the fact that anyone can do that. It's just a matter of stepping in and learning. And, you know, setting the intention and nurturing this aspect of yourself, but also doing it knowing that, doing it with integrity and knowing and being aware of how these things can impact other people, and how sometimes when you pass a message, it's not easy to pass a message always. You know, it's not always about, you know, their family coming through and offering love, or helping that lady understand that she wasn't going crazy, that it was actually her psychic ability. Not every message that we pass is easy to pass on. So it's important to understand that, and it's important to understand that the first early years of developing your mediumship challenging, you know, building your confidence. And if there's any doubt, it does mean that ego is operating, you know. So, and the other side of that is that we can have that stuff of where we want to push to prove ourselves, where we want to have other people believe that we can really do it because we need to believe it for ourselves. Or, you know, the side of things, if you want to, there's sometimes a feeling that I've seen in students, they want to be seen to be special and all of that sort of stuff. So it's very much a bit of a fine line, and not something that I recommend that people do without a lot of self-checking, without being totally confident and aware of what you're about to say to that stranger, because it comes with massive, big responsibilities. It's not just always like what you might see on TV, where you've seen, you know, world famous mediums like Teresa Caputo go into a shop and deliver a message, you know, and it does look great. It is, and it can make a difference, you know, but it is very much one of those things of practice. Think about what you're doing and take responsibility for what you're doing. So, Christy, you start to believe and then you don't. And I guess one of the things is, I know that's why sitting in a group or working with others is really beneficial. It's not something that we can sit and build that confidence in just on our own. We need the practice to work with other people, because it's in having that information validated that starts to prove to us that it's actually working and we're making the connection, you know. So it is in that practice, it is in that regular doing that we have experiences that actually says, hey, you know, that information that I got from my fellow classmate was correct and it was validated. So we do need an environment where we are supported and where we have opportunity to be confronted but practice. You know, so I just wanted to come on today and just share a little bit of that story, and just, you know, I know for me, I always do come away from those feeling so grateful for what I can do, for my connection to spirit, and so very feeling blessed that I can change a life. However small, just a couple of minutes, but I can change a life in that way. So just, and, you know, I know if I can do it, you guys can all do it too. So, but yes, just, yeah, I just wanted to share that story with you, get you thinking about it a little bit, and, you know, but also well aware of the responsibilities that come with passing a message like that to a complete stranger. That's a really, I think, an important note for us to sort of end on. So, Christy, I do have an online mediumship academy where I support people and teach people how to connect with their mediumship and how to bring that into their life. So what I will do, guys, is I will certainly post that link for you in the thread. The other thing that I'm going to be talking a little bit more about, probably might come back some point tomorrow with this, is I'm going to be changing up these psychic catch-up sessions, basically. And I'm going to sort of becoming more online with lives, adding value, talking to you about your mediumship development and your mediumship practices, but also to changing it so that with readings, they're going, where I offer readings, they will be a more private, in a more private Zoom room, and they will be a paid option, a paid, you know, available for you to come and join me. It's a little more in depth. It's a little more, it still be regular, still available every week type of thing, but it's a little bit more private, a little bit more in depth, and therefore sharing with you it as a service and a regular get together in that way. Anyway, I'm going to come back and tell you a little bit more about that and why I'm moving to that sort of model. But yes, lovely to chat to you all. Thank you for being here, and if I don't catch you, have a great Easter. Happy Easter. Thank you.